And good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday morning to you. So glad to be back with you. Let me remind you, Preterist Pilgrim Weekend, July 16th through the 18th, 2015. I mean, it's at hand. And, I appreciate the fact we got reservations coming in. If you're going to be with us, but you have not registered, please, and you don't have to send money immediately. You can pay at the door, but we do need to hear from you. Send us an email telling me, hey, we're going to be there. We just haven't paid yet. Okay? Appreciate that so very much. All right. We're looking at the eschatology of the parables. We have been focused for the last couple of sessions on Matthew 24, verse 32. And Jesus, remember, had been asked for signs of the end of the age and of his coming. Matthew 24, verse 3. He then proceeded to tell them of some events that were not signs of the immediate end. Luke chapter 21 uses the language, all of these things are not signs, so to speak, that the end is immediately. But then Jesus gave the completion of the world mission and the appearance of the abomination of desolation as the signs of the end. He then said in Matthew 24:32, now learn the parable of the fig tree. When its leaves are green, you know that summer is nigh. Likewise, when you see all these things. Now, look at the focus on the seeing of those things. That's critical because in Matthew 24, 40 and following, in what is supposedly a different discussion of a different event, Jesus said, watch. Well, what are they supposed to watch for if there's nothing to watch for? What are they supposed to watch for if there's nothing to see, as in Matthew 24:32, when you see all these things come to pass? Now watch this. Know that it is nigh. What is nigh? His coming and the end of the age. That's the only thing they've asked for a sign about. Once again, those who say that Matthew 24:3, the coming of the Lord and the end of the age is something different than the fall of Jerusalem, are in the somewhat tenuous position of saying Jesus gave signs of the end, told them when they could see the signs that they could know that it what? The antecedent of the end, or it, must go back to what they asked about. The parousia and the end of the age. When you see all of these things come to pass, now watch this carefully, know that it is nigh, even at the doors. Or even at the door, excuse me. Now, James wrote the epistle of James. James, in James chapter 5, and James obviously knew of Jesus' prediction. He knew of Jesus' signs. He knew what Jesus had said. And James said, be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. The parousia, same identical word as Matthew 24, verse 3, that the disciples asked about. The parousia has drawn near. Now watch what he says in verse 9. The judge is standing right at the door. Are we supposed to believe this is something different from what Jesus is talking about in Matthew chapter 24? Jesus said, you've asked me about signs of the end of the age and my coming. Here are some signs. When you see these things, know that my coming, the end of the age, is near, even at the door. James, living in the same generation, says the parousia that the disciples had asked about has drawn near, and the judge is standing right at the door. You see, folks, Jesus' parable gave that generation, that is to say the believers, the Christians of that generation, who knew of Jesus' commands, knew of Jesus' warnings, gave them the signs to watch for, to know when his parousia and the end of the age would be, when he would be standing right at the door. And James, writing in that generation, said, the judge is standing right at the door. Jesus' parable of the fig trees puts the parousia and the end of the age in the first century. We got more on this. Be sure to get my book, Into All the World. Then Comes the End. Go to my website, eschatology.org, bibleprophecy.com. Order the book. Mention that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping. Thanks again for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. We'll see you on the flip side.